Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live broadcast. My name is Chris, and this is Barn on 11970. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Dow Jones while we are waiting to see if the Hillary and Trump first debate tonight will take place. So far, so good, but it hasn't started yet. So we wait and see eagerly, and I will be watching it. And after the debate, I will be doing a live show based on what I heard and my opinions. I don't know what time that will be, but that will be right after the debate, so stick around if you want to talk about that. But I wanted to do a little screen share here of the Dow Jones and what is going on right now. Could it be with the anticipation of the debate tonight? That remains to be seen. But let me first put this on live screen so you can see this for yourself. All right, there we go. Currently, right now, the Dow Jones is at 18,094, down 166 points, almost 167 points, which is approximately 0.1%. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while now, I made a prediction months ago, a long time ago, maybe even a year or two ago, where I was talking about how the Dow Jones, in my opinion, will never reach 20,000. And the closest it got, and it shows right here, the 52-week high was 18,668. So if you go to the 1-year chart, that is right here, which is right around mid-August. We reached the high of 18,668, and it's been going down ever since. So I've been warning people about potential things that might be happening. Now, this could obviously be a correction. It's too early to tell at this point. But there were a lot of predictions saying that around this time, expect to see things going in a negative direction when it comes to the economy. And as of now, we could see after it's reached that peak, it has continually been going down. So I think the market is closed at this point because I'm not seeing the ticker moving anymore. So it stopped at 18,094.83, down almost 167 points. So what could happen with the debates if they do happen? I guess we'll find out. But I would love to hear your opinion. Do you think we have reached the peak of the Dow Jones and you're going to see nothing but a lowering of the Dow Jones at this point? Because I really thought if it reached 20,000, it would be hard to continue past that, and we never got to that point. So we haven't gotten to it yet, so that doesn't mean it can't happen. So I'm not going to sit here and say that things cannot turn around. But as we could see what's going on with the economy, we see that we're about to approach the debt ceiling, reaching that fiscal cliff yet again at the end of this month. We have the Chinese entering into the special drawing rights. There's a lot of situations going on right now. You still also have the situation in Charlotte. There's another shooting that went on. There's a lot of other distractions that are going on, whether they are, fake and made up, whether they are over-dramatized and taken out of context, or whether they're 100% genuine. At this point, doesn't really matter to me. It's how people react to these things that I'm paying attention to at this point. So I've made my predictions a while ago. I've been recommending people take their currency as much as they can out of their banks, either put them in federal credit unions or, put them outside of the banks, because like they say, if you cannot hold it in your hand, you don't own it. And all we need is one day of panic in the stock market, and you know how banks will react, or you know how the stock market will react. And if they shut down the banks, good luck taking out your money. Now, I'm not saying that as this is a guarantee, but there's always that chance. And my thing is, after all this time period, if nothing happens, if we go through all the way to the election and either Hillary or Trump gets elected and everything's hunky-dory and you don't see anything happening, and you can always redeposit your cash into the bank. I'm not saying close the accounts. What I am saying is stay away from credit cards. If you cannot afford to pay for something, don't get it, especially when it comes to things like luxuries. I know we all are conditioned these days into always having these wants and needs, but I think there's a difference between needing something and wanting something. So if you are at a point where you're financially struggling, and a lot of us are, unfortunately, that's why we're having a lot of the frustrations around the world. Um, Stay away from the extra spending, putting yourself further and further in debt. So if you can cut up your credit cards. The only card I have is a bank card, which means I can only make purchases with how much currency I have in my Federal Credit Union account. So I'm not overspending and buying things that I do not have, which puts me further and further in debt. So what I'm saying is just to be on the side of caution. It's not based on fear. You know, when a storm is coming, if you board up your windows, if you get yourself food and water, that's not paranoia. That's just being smart. I mean, people back before refrigerators and things like that, when harsh winter was coming and they couldn't have their crops growing, they would store food. That's not being paranoid. That's being smart. So don't let anybody else make you think, oh, you're crazy for doing these things. Because I've always said it doesn't have to be the end of the world scenario to be the end of the world for you. If all of a sudden something as simple as a power outage goes out for a week and you can't get access to your currency because your bank cards won't work, you don't have gas in your car because you didn't prepare for that, and the gas stations are now closed because they need electricity most of the time, and they don't have, other forms like, other additional pumps or battery operated programs to override any kind of problem like that, and you can't get to the supermarket and your pipes are freezing and your water freezes. What do? So it doesn't have to be some nuclear war situation to be prepared for something that could potentially cause harm. I mean, how many people have you heard of just driving home from work in the middle of a blizzard? They get stuck in their car on the highway, and they're there for a day or two before anybody can come rescue them. You don't have food and water, you could put yourself in harm's way, or at the very least, have hypothermia problems. So, again, I always tell people it's not fear. At least you shouldn't base it on that. But I would love to know your opinion based on what you're seeing with the Dow Jones and how the fact is we've reached that peak and it's been going down ever since. Now, it's not dropping 400 or 500 points a day, so it's not like there's some landslide. It's less than 1% that it dropped today. But like I said, it reached a peak at 18,668. And it hasn't come to that again. It's going in the opposite direction. So do you think it's going to continue in that direction? And as of now, gold and silver is kind of following along. I don't think you're going to see moves upward in gold and silver until people start realizing. And when there's a panic, or if there's a panic, a lot of people will be going towards gold and silver that are prepared. And the smart ones will get there early because most people follow what others do. So they will not act until they see and hear other people doing it. So my recommendation is be ahead of the curve. Be prepared beforehand. And if it doesn't happen, well, you know what? You have some coins and some jewelry and some silverware or whatever you got that you could pass down to your children or your grandchildren. So it will have value, it will have meaning. But if you have nothing and something happens, like I said, the end of the world doesn't have to be the end of the world for everybody, and it won't matter to you if it's the end of the world for you because you chose not to prepare. So let's hear in the comment section what you think about the Dow Jones, where you think it's headed, why you think it's headed in that direction. I will be doing a video later on tonight after the debates, provided they do happen. Now, a lot of people have said, well, look, Chris, you were wrong. They're still scheduled. Well, it hasn't happened yet. And if it does happen, of course, I will admit I was wrong. I will be shocked because I just cannot see Hillary Clinton being able to debate Donald Trump. And this is happening on Long Island in Hofstra University, and the security there is like ridiculous. There was no way I was able to get in. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to have been there, but it's just not happening. It's like they said, this is like their version of Fort Knox at this point. So I would love to hear what you think. But after the debates, I will be doing a live show later on tonight. I'm not sure the exact time because I don't know how long the debates are going until, but it will be pretty much within 20 minutes or less of when the debate ends. It might be right away. I will give my opinion. I will hear the opinions of other people, so stay tuned. Make sure you share that, and let's hear your comments. So hit the thumbs up button if you appreciate what I do. If you want to share it, that's always a beautiful thing and is always appreciated. And if this is your first video, make sure it's not your last. Hit the old proverbial subscribe button and be a part of this channel. And I will see you guys and gals later on tonight. Have a great day, and don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered.